Hello Virgo, and welcome to your February 2019 general reading. I'm Jade with yesYesYes, and thank you so much for visiting my channel. I first want to just give all of my gratitude to all of you who have liked and shared and subscribed to the channel. I'm really enjoying this, and I hope you are too. There's been so much resonance and so much feedback, and I'm really grateful for it all. All of the information about the decks is in the box below, as well as if you're interested in having a personal reading, because those have been amazing as well. So all of the links to my website and to the decks are in the box below. So let's get started. I did an overall for you all, so we're going to start with that. From our 2019 general, the energy all year for you is the circle from the Mystical Shaman Oracle. And so this energy is really about balance and making sure that everything is of equal stature and that you're looking at the cycles of life and really remembering that it all comes around, right? What goes around comes around, but also that, you know, if it's a tough time, then eventually it'll move through, and then it will eventually get to a really glorious time. And it's really, you know, these cycles are what we make of them. So yeah, that's the overall view. So I think that you're really coming into that this year, that you're really seeing like the overall cycle of life, which is making you incredibly wise this year, Virgo. Okay, so for February 2019, we have the energy of the Hanged Man, the Line Strider Tarot. The Hanged Man is stagnancy. It's something about, you know, something's caught you. It's funny, this card is like caught the tiger by its toe. So something's got you kind of hung up. I don't ever feel like it's a hang up in your head, Virgo, because you're very good at action. You're very good at creating the life that you're really good at creating your life, right? You're doing things, solving problems, moving forward. The thing that does get you caught in your head is that you want it to be in a certain way. You want it to be perfect. You have this image of things, and so sometimes that can keep you stagnant, where you can't quite see how to get to the end result or manifest that grander vision, and so you might get stuck trying to put all the players and put everything in its proper order in order for you to get to the next step. Now, so the energy this month is really about feeling stagnant or hung up, okay? And what's interesting is that it's being clarified in the Lenormand deck by the Rider, which is actually opposite energy. The Rider is coming forward. So what I feel like is there's going to be a push-pull this month. And it's interesting because we're talking about the circle being your overall energy of the year, and that really there's always seeking balance, right? We're always seeking balance. So there's a push forward, and then you might get hung up, and then, you know, there might be another push forward and you might get hung up. So just know that there's some of that energy that's happening this month in February for you, my dear Virgos. So we're going to do a past present sort of spread. I just kind of pull the cards out and see how they tell me their story. So we're going to start in the past for you, Virgo, and what is the energy that's bringing us here to February. So we have the Seven of Chalices. There were lots of choices. That makes sense why that would keep you stagnated. We also have the Hierophant in reverse. This is a Taurus card. So if it was a relationship and maybe that didn't go well, or if we're talking about the Hierophant's energy, the Hierophant is about tradition and even marriage, but traditional roles, right? It's the priest at the church. So there's something about upsetting tradition, and so perhaps you have seen that there are many choices in the past. Of course, you had many choices that were non-traditional choices, and that could bring you to a place of not knowing what to do. Okay, now all the cards are just getting thrown away here. Let me start this over here. So Virgo, what else do we have for your past here? We have the Nine of Swords also in the reverse. So it's coming out of this place of torture, right? You want to get yourself out of your head. I don't ever see you in your head. So this is interesting. King of Pentacles also in the reverse. So there was a need or a desire for stability. Perhaps you felt stable in the past, but right now you're just, let me start over. In the further past, there was stability. There was a connection with your life or yourself or with another that was very stable, very grounded. There could even be like money, work going well, and just in the recent past, things have upended, things are turned. So this could be like a little bit of that change that we were talking about earlier, and that, you know, things are good and then there's a change, and then things are good and then there's a change. So it's a hurry up and go, hurry up and wait. That's what I'm saying. So there's, in the past, you are coming out of, coming out of really pushing yourself to that place of perfection, which is great for you, okay? Really trying to release that negativity, the ego telling you all of this negative belief stuff that you have in your head. And it could be specifically about either a strong or stable relationship or your work or your money. So I feel like you're really trying to push past something that is been upended, okay? I do have some earth energy here again, so we could be talking about, well, you're also earth, but we could be talking about a Taurus or another Virgo or a Capricorn, but there's something where it's just not quite right in the past. Things weren't quite working out. Things, the energy just became a mess. Okay, let me see what's going on. There was choices in it. The Ace of Wands also in the reverse. Something didn't get started. There was a desire to move forward, but we couldn't quite get it going. The World, okay, and then I guess there was an ending. Okay. I'm not sure if this is a relationship because it's really kind of all over the place. So it could be that we're talking about a creative project that looked to be very long-term oriented, to look like maybe it was an investment even that had really great promise, and then something just flipped, right? Something just happened where it became obviously not what you once thought it was, okay? And that it didn't get going, right? So this was even just in the preliminary stages, and you had perhaps looked forward to this being the launch, right? This being something that was going to change everything, and it didn't even get going. And there's something really painful about that, because it's like a baby that doesn't quite get to birth, right? So, and even with this World card, she's quite pregnant here and she's wanting to, but the World is telling us that this cycle is coming to a fruition. And because the Ace of Staves was in the upright, I don't even feel like it got started, right? I feel like it was and again, this is the energy right now where it's, we have all the potential and then everything gets thrown off. So we're really riding the tides, really riding the waves of, the crests and the valleys. And I feel like, Virgo, you just want to have some stability and some settling for a change. And let's see, what's going on in the present? I'm feeling like that's where we need to be. Okay, so we have the Fool in reverse. There's a new beginning that's wanted, but we can't quite get there yet. Are we holding on to something? Is that what it is? That we're holding on to this past potential and we can't quite get started? We have the Three of Pentacles in reverse. So again, that's a collaboration, some type of collaborative element that wasn't getting going. Or what I will say is that there's an aspect of the Three of Pentacles where you're being looked at as an authority. So this could be a project that you had actually begun, or this could have been your idea. And of course, there's even extra issue with that where, the failure, the fear of failure, initially we get past that, but then if a project actually does fail, or if it's an idea that doesn't quite get there, then it's as if you have the additional shame of not being able to bring this idea forward. And what I'll say is that we all fail. There's no way that anything gets done without failure. And I think that this is the hardest part of your Virgo trait, is to release that perfection, to release the need for everything to work out just so, because that doesn't allow for life to be a part of it. You're not really co-creating with life there. You're really trying to control it, and sometimes you have to loosen those reins, and sometimes those things come in and just pull the reins out of your hands completely. So I don't feel like it's, you know, to that extreme, but I just feel like you're having to face the fact that something didn't work out, that you really believed, you might have even put all of your money into, and it just upended. And now you're in this place of what next? What's going on? Now we have the moon. So the moon is here in the upright. The moon urges us to go towards our intuitive understanding. I feel like you know what happened. I feel like you probably knew it all along, but perhaps you were moving so fast, moving forward at such a pace that, and you were so excited that the emotional warning signs, the intuitive nudges that you were getting, you might have been ignoring. And the moon is here in the present to remind us to connect to our intuition. It's also here to remind us that sometimes things are unseen. Sometimes there are things that work beneath the surface, in the shadows, that we can't control. So this could be about, you know, a part of it being an aspect that you might have heard, and then another aspect of, you know, that it just wasn't meant to be. So releasing the responsibility and the weight that you have that something didn't work out, because sometimes it just wasn't meant to be. I want you out of this energy, Virgo. Let's see how we can get you out of this energy. Well, we have the Death in the upright, more transformation. This is Scorpio energy. So really going into the shadows and digging out. And that's totally fine for you to be here. We have the Four of Swords in the reverse. So that's actually coming out of this quietude, okay? So I feel like there is some transformation happening, and what else is happening here? We have Three of Swords. So we're transforming this grief and this loss that you feel. Now I'm not seeing any relationship cards. What I'm seeing is it really is about stability. It could be, you know, that there was a king or, you know, or Taurus energy. So if it was a relationship and it just didn't work out, it was not only your fault, because there's no fault really, but it was not only you moving forward and hoping for the best, but also that the divine wasn't working for it either. It just wasn't meant to be, okay? So if it was a relationship, or if it was a work situation, if it was an investment, there was it was equal parts. It's not supposed to be, and then also with your energy of maybe not listening to your intuition as you were going. You know, maybe you're looking at the prize, but not necessarily doing the checks on the way, right? So, and that's something that we all need to do. We all need to slow down and do those checks on the way to make sure, am I still on track? Is this still what I want? Is this end goal where I really want to be? Because we change, right? Our goals change, life changes, and what we might have thought we wanted 6 months ago, a year ago, 5 years ago, can be totally different now. What we envisioned for ourselves can totally change, even overnight. And so what I'm seeing right now in your present is that you're being called to really tune into your intuition, to look into the shadows, transform them, and transform this loss and this shame that you might have that might be attached to a failed relationship, a failed investment, or a failed job opportunity, or work, you know, creative opportunity that you put forward. Okay, so no more of this failure. Let us move past this, Virgo, and let's go back to the overall energy. There's a stuckness, but it's a, you know, let's hurry up and wait. So you might feel like you make headway moving past this energy, and then you're stuck in it again. Okay, so just know that the healing process takes time. We have to be patient with ourselves. We have to allow whatever the healing space and time that is needed, we have to allow it. And it's going to be different. There's no prescribed method of healing. There's no prescribed method of releasing shame. I would really like to say, take this tea, hold on to this rock, and this will make all of your difference. But the truth is that it's something that we have to keep reminding ourselves and keep living thoughtfully and mindfully, right? We have to mindfully say, I want to be in this space. Like, I don't want to be in that headspace anymore. Let me change it and move forward. And then do those checks. Check in with yourself to make sure that you're still on your path and that you're keeping your monkey mind from going crazy, from keeping the shame and the ego from bubbling up. And it's very difficult. And I'm by no means an expert. And this is just as much for me as it is for you. Now, here's what's beautiful. In the future, you have the 10 of Pentacles. So it's all going to turn out, okay? It's all coming around. If we release that shame and that ego in the little bits, right? Hurry up and wait. Hurry up and wait. When you feel it bubble up, release it. If you feel it bubble up again, release it. It's just being really mindful to what's going on. We have the Four of Wands. This beautiful energy here, building something that's really strong and stable. The foundation that you really wanted in the past is coming to you in the near future, okay? This is good family situation. This is good money, whatever this creative project is. We do have the Two of Cups here in the reverse. So maybe it's not quite working out in terms of the relationship quite yet, but that energy is on the table, which means that it can be turned around. So all of this beauty that you can have in the future is here for you, but I think the secret is really releasing the ego and releasing the judgment, self-judgment, releasing the need for perfection, Virgo, because you are by all means the most perfect sign, because no one else can live up to that, right? Nobody else tries it. We release that all the time. Now I have the Six of Cups in reverse. So releasing whatever feelings of nostalgia, the idea of what could have been, okay? That's what in the future is coming to you. What could have been, maybe even in this love relationship. What I'm feeling here in the future is that it's really about finding stability, making home, making the hearth, making whatever foundation, if it's not home, foundation in work, foundation in your next venture, strong on your own, not with somebody else. It's not about connecting with anyone else. It's not about trying to make what once was work, because that's not going to work this time, okay? You have to do it for yourself here in the future. Let me get a few more cards for you, Virgo. For the future, near future, for Virgo, 2019. I've got two here. So Two of Swords. So it's important to make sure that you're speaking your truth. That was in reverse. And then we also have the Knave of Chalices, which is the Page of Water. Speaking your truth and also offering any kind of emotional support that you would bring up for yourself, right? Or even allowing any type of emotional support, small bits coming to you, okay? Make sure that you're speaking clearly what is emotionally coming up for you. And this may not be for anyone else, but just for you, and getting to the place where you can create something really strong and stable for yourself. I've got a couple more. The Knight of Chalices. So this emotional fulfillment and steadfastness, the ease that you were hoping for, the comfort. That's really what it is, right? We just want to be comforted. We want to feel peace, okay? These are the things that are coming for you but you have to give them to yourself. So it's not about this collaboration. It's not about any other partnership. It's all about releasing the need for being perfection, the need for your ego to be attached to whatever failed, releasing that so that you can allow and really observe the imperfections and find love for yourself in those imperfections, okay? And then ultimately I've got the King of Swords in the reverse. And what's beautiful about that is that while the king has mastered his words, he also can speak without compassion. And so this is really about finding the balance in speaking your truth in a compassionate way, but to yourself, right? Looking at the truth and looking at the way things went down, but having compassion for yourself in the process. So Virgo, I would love to say that this is like, you know, the best month ever in terms of like love coming in and whatnot. But what I'm seeing here for you is that you are facing the beautiful truth is that something came to a close and that you invested in it and it didn't work out. And there's licking of wounds, right? There's some rough patches of skin that are still healing from that. And the good news is that the healing is coming. It's all here for you when you look at the beauty of the process and you release the ego and release the need for the control and release the need for perfection, because the beauty is in your imperfection and in all of our imperfections. If you have any questions or if this is resonating for you, please let me know with the comments below. Or if you'd like to speak with me more about it, I'd be happy to have a reading with you. So feel free to check out my website. Thank you so much, Virgo, and I do wish you all the best here in February.